Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. Today is the second video I've ever made on YouTube. Last week was the first with Angelina Jordan's Gloomy Sunday. Today we will be doing Angelina Jordan's I Put a Spell on You. I will only be reacting to Angelina Jordan. That is the only artist I will be reacting to. In fact, I am so deep down the Angelina Jordan rabbit hole, I'm growing these. Now, 50 years ago, there was a word in the English language, Dylanologist. There were people who went around studying Bob Dylan, writing books about him, analyzing his lyrics and trying to understand the meaning of what he was writing. Right now, today, we're going to invent a new word, Angelinologist. These are people who are beyond superfans, people who are trying to understand what makes Angelina who she is and how she does these remarkable things. Now, Bob Dylan, the lyrics were in front of you, they were on paper, they could be analyzed. Studying Angelina Jordan is actually more difficult because Angelina Jordan is based on feeling. I Put a Spell on You is not the very best example, but all of her other songs have so much feeling, and this is what people will try and unravel and understand. Now, some people reacting say, oh, well, it's the octaves range that she does. Other people will say it's her vibrato. Others will say this is the Persian musical influence. But I don't go down any of those routes, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes feeling cannot be analyzed. I'll give you an example. A young lad, 20 years old, comes home to his parents, sitting at the dinner table. He says, Mom, Dad, I've fallen in love. His dad is a scientist, and his dad says, right, well, when you fall in love, you have hormones surging around your body, you have a chemical going up to your brain, and your heart pulse is completely changed. And the son says, Dad, I'm in love. This is what we're talking about. Some things are beyond analysis. Now, different people react in different ways to Angelina Jordan. I've only seen this particular video 200 times, and so I'm not going to be very surprised, but many YouTubers will write to reactors and say, hey, why don't you listen to Angelina Jordan's I Put a Spell on You? So they come along very innocent and say, hey, I've never heard of this girl. I don't know anything about her. Let's see what happens. And the reactions are very unexpected. The video is very spectacular, and many reactors become instantly addicted to Angelina Jordan. And some people will react, what? Others will say, she's from Planet Jazz. She's not from this planet. Other people will say, stop messing with me. This is lip sync. And someone else will say, this is just fall off their chair. Just fall off their chair. Right, we're ready to begin. This is Angelina Jordan, I Put a Spell on You. She's writing a note to the musical producer telling him her wishes. She has already done all the musical arrangement, but she's making some changes to the piano accompaniment. With the next scene, you will see the musical producer reading the note and going, as if to say, yeah, she knows what she's doing. There's no dust settles on this girl. Here is Angelina's grandmother. She is very famous, but not as much as she should be. People know of her because she has listened to jazz records when Angelina was young and has exposed her to jazz. But otherwise, you don't really see much of her because she's usually holding the camera, making the home videos in the background. You see her when she's on Bohemian Rhapsody in the audience. When Heidi Klum hits the golden buzzer, she stands up and goes berserk when she's next to Angelina's mom and her sister. And she also is at the very end of the Gloomy Sunday video, walking out of the door after the performance. She herself is an artist, a painter, and a poet. She started painting and was a poet at age 9. And she herself was a child prodigy. She has written poetry in English, in Persian, Norwegian, and Japanese. And her paintings are very unusual. Here's an example. And she has paintings which are very humanitarian. She wants to bring people together, and she gives a lot of the proceeds from her exhibitions to charity. You see where this is going? This is what Angelina does. Angelina is a child prodigy. She plays many different musical instruments. She covers many different genres when she's singing. She also does a lot of charity performances. This is a very, very strong influence for Angelina. In addition to that, her grandmother has done some of the videos. The video on Long Beach in California, where Angelina is singing Valerie, where she's chasing the seagulls when she's on her knees with her baby sister in the background dancing. Also, the video for Shield, which Angelina performed, was directed by her mum, her grandmum. And I also believe I'm Still Holding Out For You was also directed by Angelina's gran. Now, going back to Shield, this is a very, very crucial song. Angelina wrote the song, she wrote the lyrics, and the lyrics are very, very telling. She says, "Thank you for protecting me and for sheltering me." She also says, "Keep me from strangers with bad intent." But she also says, "Forgive me for all that I am," which is a great line of personal humility. And that is a quality that she gets from her grandmother. I have no doubt about that. In addition to that, when Angelina performs, some of her music videos are actually in front of her grandmother's paintings. When you look at John Legend, All of Me, Angelina's performance, that's in front of one of her paintings. And also when she does The Show Must Go On, that's another painting which is done by Angelina's granny. In addition to that, when Angelina performed on Bohemian Rhapsody, she wore a very striking, very colorful outfit. That outfit was designed by Angelina's granny, but Angelina was the one who sewed it together. I think this is a wonderful discipline to keep Angelina focused and grounded, and I think this is a very good example of very good grandparenting. And the other very important fact is Mary Zamani, her grandmother, was only 45 years old when Angelina was born. And so she was very dynamic and very young, and she had a lot of energy to put into Angelina's upraising because they all lived under the same roof. And so in many ways, Angelina's grandmother was like a second mum. Back to the video. This is a candle with the photo of the original artist, Screamin' Jay Hawkins. We'll be looking at him in a minute. And this is a nod to say we respect you and we acknowledge. This is Angelina's nod to the original artist. Feeling the rhythm. What? What?
Because you're mine. Stop the things you do. I ain't lying. I can't stand
9 years old.
I can't stand. No, put me down. Put a spell on you. Because you're
Screaming in key. Screaming key.
Stop the things you do. Hey, what's up? I ain't lying. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you anyhow. I don't care if you don't want me. I'm yours right now. I put a spell on you because you're mine.
This is my favorite part. I just love this. She goes into opera mode now. This is opera.
I don't care if you don't want me. I'm yours right now.
In 1 second, I will put it back on. Look at the very, very last image in this video. Angelina goes like that. Really, really casual, as if to say, okay, we've done that. What's next? Watch. Some people watch that and say, what? This girl obviously has been drinking whiskey for 20 years, but considering she's 9 years old, that's very unlikely. Other people will say she's going to ruin her vocal cords at a rate like that, but whenever she's done this afterwards, she's been much more restrained. She has not belted it out in the same way. At this point, this is more than a year after she was on Norway's Got Talent. She's already a national treasure. This is performed in Norway in the studio. Can you imagine these Norwegian musicians going home in the evening? The wife says, how was your day? Well, you better sit down. I have a story for you. I just heard something which you will not believe. This is what it's like. Now, we're going to look at the original version, which was the inspiration for Angelina. And once we hear the original, we can see the gap between what was the original and Angelina. And that gap is where Angelina's creativity really, really is, because this is her arrangement. Now, the original artist, Screamin' Jay Hawkins, he wrote this in 1956, but this performance that we're about to see is from 1990. And this performance is half novelty act, half theatrical, and half musical. Let's see what it looks like.
I put a spell on you. Cause you're mine. Stop the things you do. Can't stand. Woo! No running around. Can't stand. Don't put me down. I put a spell on you. Not the things you do. Watch out! Hey, I love you! I love you! I love you anyhow! I don't care if you don't want me!
It's good, but it's very different. It's like comparing an orange to a spaceship. We just can't compare them. But our Angelina Jordan happens to be the Queen Midas of music. Everything she touches turns to gold. We have a third video lined up. It's already in the planning stage. It will be happening very soon. It's been a pleasure doing this. I'm out of here. Watch this space.